Hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen. I'm very excited to show you the recipe that I'm going to prepare today, and it's a vegan quiche. And it has a wonderful crispy crust, and who doesn't like a crispy crust? But most important of all, it's that it's very nutritious and I'm using organic, wholesome ingredients. Now, let's go into business about how to make this wonderful vegan quiche that I'm sure you will enjoy. And I'm gonna show you the ingredients. Okay, so here are the ingredients for our vegan quiche. We're gonna start with the flour, and don't worry about the measurements because I will list it in the video. I have sprouted flour, and I also have pastry flour. For the pastry, we only need the flour, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of water. And I have a vegan butter here. And that's what we need for the crust, and also an 11-inch round pie plate. This is ceramic, and I love this one, so that's what we need for the crust. Now for the filling, we need mushrooms. And I love mushrooms because mushrooms have a lot of healthy properties. Oyster mushrooms, and I also have shiitake mushrooms, but you can use portobello, white, brown, or any mushrooms that you prefer. I also have here leeks, which also have anti-cancer properties. They have anti-inflammatory properties. We cannot have a quiche without some greens. I highly recommend to include greens in your diet. Greens are one, if not the most powerful foods that we can eat. In this case, I have spinach. But in this case, I buy the pre-packaged, and there's one reason why for the quiche I would recommend that you buy the packaged spinach, because it's already very dry. If you buy the bunches of spinach, you have to wash it and then use one of the salad spinners to remove most of the water, but it's still a little bit damp. We also need smoked paprika and a little bit of turmeric and tofu. I recommend, this is an organic tofu, and I recommend the soft or semi-soft. We also need nutritional yeast, garlic, fresh garlic, and I have fresh thyme, and which is a finely chopped, and I have fresh rosemary, which I love to include herbs in my dishes. Now, if you cannot get the fresh ones, you can always put the dehydrated one, and it's okay. And I also have grape tomatoes and a little bit of almond milk, which is homemade. I have a vegan cheese, which is optional, but I like to put a little bit of this vegan cheese. A little bit of filtered water and plastic wrap, because after we do the dough, we have to put it in the fridge and chill it for a little bit before we roll it and put it on the plate. We also need a high-speed blender. If you have a Vitamix, that's perfect. We don't want to feel any pieces when we blend the tofu. That's why I recommend a high-speed blender. Okay, let's start making the crust. I have, as I said, I have the flours, the two types of flours mixed. And now all I have to do is add the butter, which I'm gonna cut in small pieces. Now we're gonna add a little bit of salt. Now with the water, you wanna start pouring the cold water very slow. It's better if you add less than more water, otherwise you will have to add a little bit more of flour. So just a little bit, and then you will start mixing. If it needs just a tiny bit of water, you can damp your fingers. So that way you make sure that you don't add more water than it needs to. The dough is ready, and now I'm just gonna put it in plastic wrap and keep it in the fridge. In the meantime, while our dough is in the fridge, I'm going to prepare the filling. We are going to start by sauteing our leeks. And what I did is I poured a little bit of water in my pan, and I can caramelize them without using any oil. The order in which we pour the ingredients doesn't really matter because we're going to saute everything. And as you can see, I'm using quite a big pan. And although I have a lot of ingredients, this package of spinach reduces a lot. The same with the mushrooms because the water content of these vegetables is very high. I am caramelizing the leeks, and I'm gonna add the garlic. I'm also going to add the mushrooms. I'm gonna add the rosemary and the thyme. A little bit of sea salt or Himalayan salt, whichever you prefer. Now let's add the tomatoes. And finally, we're going to add the whole package of spinach. The colors look so beautiful and it smells wonderful. The rosemary, the thyme, the garlic. The filling of this quiche is really delicious. So let me show you how beautiful this looks. Doesn't it look wonderful? The colors are so bright, and if you were in my kitchen, you would smell the herbs. And this is ready, so we're just gonna let it rest here. Now it's time to prepare the other part of the filling. What we're going to do is pour the tofu in the high-speed blender, the vegan cheese. We're going to add between 3 and 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. That's about it. A little bit of smoked paprika, and the amount of the smoked paprika is up to your liking. If you want a more smoky flavor, I would add more. And a little bit of turmeric. Almond milk. If you don't have almond milk, you can add a little bit of water. This is going to be very creamy. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. So our dough has been in the fridge for about 20 minutes or so. Now it's time to extend it. And the way I do it is I actually like to put parchment paper. For me, it's much easier to do it this way. We're gonna start rolling the dough. At the beginning, it's going to be a little bit hard because it's been in the fridge. Make sure to roll it in different directions. So now that our dough is very well extended, I'm gonna grab my pan and measure. It has to be a little bit longer than the pan. And I'm just going to transfer it like this. Which is, as I said, that's why I like to use the parchment paper, because for me it's easier to manage the dough this way. So now I have it, and I want to make sure that it covers the whole plate. I know that I'm going to need to make some cuts, but it's okay because I already have all the bottom filled. And once the whole plate is covered with the dough, I'm just going to pinch it to have a nice shape in the top, like any regular pie. Making this quiche is a little bit time consuming because you have to prepare the dough and you have to prepare the two fillings, the creamy one with the tofu and also the one with the vegetables. But you don't need to be a pastry chef to do this. Our crust is ready to bake. So what I like to do is I like to put these ceramic pebbles that you can buy in a cooking store. And if you don't have them, another option is to pinch the dough with a fork in different places. I have the pebbles and I'm going to use them, put them on top with the parchment paper. And I'm gonna bake these for 15 to 20 minutes at 350 degrees. After that, remove the pebbles and we're gonna put it back for another 5 minutes. I have just taken the crust out of the oven. Now all we have to do is put the filling and put it back in the oven for another 40 minutes. The way to do it is, first you're gonna pour some of the vegetables in the bottom of the shell. Make sure to cover the whole bottom with the vegetables. We're gonna pour the creamy mixture. And once you try this cream, you will find other ways to use it. It's really delicious. And finally, you're gonna put the remaining of the vegetables on top. I cannot wait to try this. Honestly, it's delicious. And I would use this dish for a special occasion. Now it goes back in the oven for about 40 minutes. After a long wait, our vegan quiche is ready. Unfortunately, I have to wait to try it because right now it's too hot. You have to let it cool completely, otherwise it will come apart. Enjoy it with a big salad. I'm sure it will be one of the favorite meals that you prepare for your family. Give me your comments and thanks for watching. Till next time, bon appetit.